So the four main reasons, there are others, but the four main reasons why BDCs fail, very simple. In order. Number one, when the dealer principal or the owner is not behind it. The BDC cannot just exist. It can't just be this mystical department off in the storage room next to the work orders with 32 boxes surrounded by me. And every time I wake up to turn around, I hit the mop. Like, no, these are not ideal working conditions. So when the owner is not behind it, and that can mean a number of things, but again, not to be cynical, but at the end of the day, they're the ones flipping, they're the ones paying for this thing. So we'll get into the whole, defining it, planning it, etc. So number one, when the owner is not behind it. Number two, most importantly, when there is friction between the departments the BDC serves.
I agree.
If the BDC is doing internet sales and you're into and the sales managers, just get them in, the old adage of just get them in, and then we get them in and they're not in market shoppers or they're not ready to pull the trigger. And
the Glengarry leads.
The Glengarry leads, coffees for closers, right? So the Glengarry leads, when they come in, now all of a sudden we're shit because we didn't do a good job. But dude, I just did what you told me to do. I brought them in. Yeah, but why didn't you? Anyway, etc. So when there's friction between departments, the BDC will absolutely fail. The third, when it becomes something that it is not. Now, without going off on a tangent, what I mean by that is it's extremely important if you're going to restructure your BDC or if you're going to build one from scratch, the four major elements that I follow, or the BDC alchemy, or other people too, but I really follow these. You have to define it first. What do you want this thing to be? Do you want it to be all things to all people? Fine, well then stay that course. But for me, the core purpose of a BDC is simply to provide a consistent flow of traffic to the service and sales flow. It is not, for me anyway, it is not a private sale group because it requires, and not that they can't be, but it requires a different approach. It requires, like, Reid could bang out any script. He's completely versatile.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Shawn, though. I believe that the message is delivered at an emotional level. They need to come in and drive the vehicle before they're going to purchase it. 100%. The interrupt is to change the sales call or the sales mentality into an appointment mentality, because if you drive it and you don't like it, you're not going to buy it anyway. So why waste anybody's time going over all this other information when there's no purpose to it? Let us be the professional and direct the situation, right?
100%, which is why, and Reid, I'm just going to interject this little thing for anybody listening or watching, that has been plagued. That is a plague in our industry with the BDC, and it's directly related to the pay plan. Yeah. As long as the BDC agents, as long as there's a component to the sold, as they call it,
getting paid on the sold,
it screws up. We're not in sales. No. I'm not going to get up out of my seat and go see Kelly when he comes in tomorrow. I'm going to be on the phone doing my 110 phone calls a day. So why are we being remunerated on the souls? It conflicts the entire thing. But again,
it's the wrong mindset. I agree with you.
It creates completely the wrong mindset, and it takes it completely into a different direction.
It's tough to adapt, though, Shawn. After being in the car business for 17 years, I had that mindset. I was like, "Give me a," you know what I mean? I don't know.
But I mean, since we did it, it evolved. I mean, back in our days, Reid, it was kind of like the movie Boiler Room. If we're going to call it something, it was just we were up on our chairs, yelling and screaming, and we had all this flexibility. And then, unfortunately, what happened is those people at the time that were at our level became, GSMs and are running the BDCs the same way as before, but they've just never evolved. And the last reason why a BDC would fail, and again, we're not angels, when they're poorly managed. I mean, I see it time and time again, but again, that comes with coaching, which is why Reid exists and which is why I exist, because at the end of the day, on our last day here on earth, we're not taking anything with us, but we can leave it behind. So my mission right now is just to leave everything behind and just pour back into this industry that has given me so much, because technically I've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. So leave it behind.